Have you ever found yourself in a situation where everything you thought you knew about survival just gets flicked, completely turned on its head?
Yeah, where maybe advanced tech meets something really primal in
Yeah.
this kind of deadly dance.
Exactly. And today we're peeling back the layers of a film that did exactly that, became an instant classic, really a cultural touchstone, the iconic 1987 sci-fi action thriller
Wow,
Predator.
Predator, fantastic choice.
Right. And we're not just, watching it again. We're going to dissect it. Every pulse-pounding moment. It's clever, genre-bending stuff. And it's surprising depth, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Our deep dive, it's built on really detailed story summaries, meticulous scene-by-scene breakdowns. We want to make sure we don't miss a single terrifying beat.
Right, and our mission here, like always, is really to pull out those key nuggets,
Those bits of insight.
exactly those invaluable bits of knowledge from this amazing movie experience. We're not just going to like run through the plot.
No, no. Deeper than that.
Way deeper. We're digging into why it still clicks with people, decades later.
Yeah.
What was so unique about it?
What did it bring to the table?
Yeah, visually, narratively.
Mm.
It really changed things for action, for sci-fi, fundamentally altered the landscape.
Absolutely.
So we'll take you on that journey from what looks like a straightforward, military op.
Uh-huh. Albeit a bit clandestine, mate.
Bit clandestine, right? Through this brutal hunt, almost one-sided at first.
Yeah.
And then into that final raw struggle, man versus alien. So you'll get a real thorough and nuanced understanding.
Yeah.
The key turns, the fascinating details that really cemented it as a standout film.
What a fantastic journey we have ahead of us. So let's unpack this right from the very beginning, because Predator, wow, it wastes absolutely no time setting up its mysteries, plural.
It really doesn't. That opening sequence.
Yeah.
It's almost dialogue-free, isn't it? But it's
Ugh.
just thick with foreboding.
Totally. Picture this, just vast, silent space. Then suddenly, this shimmering, indistinct shape, an alien spacecraft, just slices through Earth's atmosphere.
Not exactly graceful, but you feel the power.
Oh, yeah. And it ejects this small pod, glowing, kind of ominous, descending like this, I don't know, malevolent seed towards the jungle below.
Right into that dense green canopy.
And we don't know what it is, where it's from, what it wants, but that first image just sets this immediate tone. Unseen, otherworldly threat.
It's a masterful stroke of cinematic efficiency, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
a pure visual storytelling. And what's so clever is how it immediately sets up these two, separate threads.
Right. Two lines of intrigue.
Yeah, totally separate, but you just know they're going to collide. You've got this utterly alien cosmic threat arriving. Pure sci-fi right there. Promises something unknown.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
juxtaposed against that, you cut to this very human, very grounded, sweaty, even covert military ops shaping up down in the jungle.
That dual mystery right from the get-go keeps you totally on edge. How are these two things going to connect? Brilliant way to build suspense without just dumping exposition on us.
Exactly, because almost at the same time, we shift scales from cosmic down to something way more visceral, more terrestrial.
You hear the chopper blades first.
Yeah, this military helicopter just carving through that thick, humid air, descending towards some remote outpost deep in this oppressive Central American jungle.
And aboard that chopper, there he is, our main guy, Major Alan Dutch Schaefer, Arnold Schwarzenegger, just pure iconic presence.
Absolutely. The leader of this elite paramilitary rescue team, a unit known for being, well, the best, always gets the job done.
And he's there because he's been summoned by an old friend, CIA operative Al Dillon. Carl Weathers, right. Playing him with this great mix of old buddy charm, but also something hidden.
Yeah, that veiled agenda. And Dylan's got what he calls a special mission for Dutch. Very
Yeah.
vague.
And right there, that's where the other mystery starts to subtly peek through. The human one.
Dylan claims these high-ranking cabinet ministers got nabbed by guerrillas, held deep in the jungle, supposedly.
But Dutch, you see it immediately. He's a veteran, pragmatic, relies on his gut. He's instantly skeptical.
You can see it in his eyes, right? The way he looks at Dylan. He senses something's not quite right about Dylan's whole demeanor. He's pushing too hard.
Especially when Dylan, a CIA guy, insists on tagging along on the actual assault. That's weird.
Very weird. And that instantly plants these little seeds of doubt about the real objective, not just for Dutch, but for us, the audience, watching.
It's a classic deception setup, but done with this really nice understated tension. You start questioning the mission right along with Dutch.
Yeah, you do. But despite those doubts, Dutch is a pro. He agrees to take the mission, and he quickly pulls his team together. his crack team.
And on paper, man, this team looks invincible.
Totally. These aren't just soldiers, they're specialists. Hardened commandos. You got Mac, the stoic one. Blaine, the heavy weapons guy, just imposing. Billy, the tracker, who seems almost eerie, intuitive.
Poncho, steady. Hawkins, the comms guy, quick with the joke.
Right. You see them geared up, bristling with weapons, losing confidence. And your first thought is, okay, unstoppable. They'll handle this.
Which, of course, is the perfect setup. Almost cruel, really.
Yes, it sets up their eventual systematic takedown. Shows that even the absolute best can be completely broken by what's coming.
And that's such a critical narrative move, isn't it? Presenting this flawless crack team like something out of Commando or Rambo.
Exactly. Very 80s action trope.
It establishes this incredibly high bar for competence, for strength. But it's not just showing off. It makes the real threat, the unseen one, seem even more formidable.
Because if this team can be dismantled, what the hell are they dealing with?
Precisely. It tells the audience immediately. Whatever they're about to face, it's beyond anything they know. The rules are about to change drastically.
So from that kind of unsettling briefing, they move into the jungle proper, drop deep inside. And the atmosphere, wow, it shifts immediately. From tense to just oppressive.
Suffocating is the word. Dense, claustrophobic, the humidity, the sounds, everything amplifies that feeling of isolation. It feels hostile even before anything happens.
Yeah, the jungle itself feels like a character, almost malevolent. And it's there in that suffocating environment that they find the first definitive, horrifying signs that something is deeply, deeply wrong.
This is where the film just pivots, right? From that military rescue idea.
Yeah, it pivots hard into something much darker, survival horror territory. Finding a wrecked helicopter is bad enough, right?
Yeah.
Signals the previous mission failed. But then
Then they find them.
the skinned corpses, American soldiers, just imagine that shock. Not just dead, but meticulously, grotesquely skinned, hanging upside down from the tree.
It's such a visceral, brutal image.
And it's an unmistakable sign. This is something utterly alien, beyond human cruelty. Guerrillas don't do that. That single shocking visual just skyrockets the stakes, plunges them headfirst into horror. It screams, this is not the mission you thought it was?
And it's so specific, isn't it? Almost ritualistic. That barbarity instantly tells you the threat level is off the charts, way beyond human conflict. It's a detail you don't forget.
Absolutely burned into your memory. And then you have Billy, the team's tracker, Native American tracker. He's the first one to really feel it.
His senses are just different.
Yeah, honed by generations connected to the natural world. He feels this unnatural presence, like an alien gaze on them. He signals they're being watched, that something other is there.
And that's so significant, the contrast. The soldiers have their tech, their training.
Right. Thermal scopes, tactics. But Billy relies on this older, primal intuition. His connection to nature lets him perceive the unseen, feel that ripple in the forest that tech can't pick up.
It's powerful foreshadowing, isn't it? Hinting at the primal nature of the conflict to come, where instinct might actually trump firepower.
Definitely. It's like his gut is just screaming at him, this deep, unsettling feeling that bypasses all their fancy gear. So, okay, these early discoveries, the skinned bodies, Billy's premonition, how does that fundamentally change the game for a team like Duchess?
Well, it's got to be a massive psychological blow.
Huge. Immediate and profound. These guys are trained for human enemies, known rules of engagement. They understand the why, usually.
But this
shatters all known parameters, the skinned bodies, Billy's sense of being hunted. It introduces the unknown, the incomprehensible, which is always far scarier than a conventional enemy.
Suddenly their training feels maybe not useless, but inadequate.
Inadequate, exactly. Their confidence, that invincible swagger starts to crack. The professional detachment peels away. They're left vulnerable, confused, deeply unnerved.
And that psychological vulnerability just sets the stage perfectly for the real threat to emerge. Shows that firepower doesn't mean much when you can't even understand what you're fighting.
Perfectly put.
Yeah.
And that shift leads them right into the guerrilla camp confrontation, which seems like the main goal at first.
Yeah, but it just reveals another layer of deception, doesn't it?
So after finding the bodies and feeling watched, they finally hit the guerrilla camp. And the assault itself. It's pure Dutch's team. Efficient, intense, devastating.
They neutralize the hostiles, find the woman, Anna, among the prisoners, and for a second you think, okay, maybe this is it, mission done.
The film definitely wants you to think that for a beat. It's great misdirection, keeps you off balance. Right. But Dutch, He's sharp. He sees the bodies of the supposed minister.
And they're not ministers.
Nope, American soldiers,
Mhm.
CIA ops. Just like Dylan. And that's the moment it all clicks for Dutch. Dylan's whole story unravels. Quietly, devastatingly.
And he confronts them, right? That tension between them, old friends, just crackle.
Oh, yeah. And Dylan finally spills it. The whole mission, a setup. Not about rescuing ministers. It was about grabbing intel from a downed CIA team who'd already been wiped out, massacred.
So the gorillas they just killed.
It's a sideshow. A convenient cover for a much darker, cynical CIA cleanup operation.
Wow. That reveal is such a game changer.
For so many reasons. First, it shatters Dutch's trust in Dylan, an old friend. That's a huge betrayal, personally and professionally. Creates massive internal conflict.
And second,
And maybe more critical for the horror aspect. This deception made Dutch's team incredibly vulnerable. They were lied to, manipulated. Their focus was deliberately put on a human enemy.
while the real threat.
The real, unseen, far deadlier threat was already in the trees, watching, probably picking them off, capitalizing on their distraction. That misdirection isn't just a plot twist. It's key to the suspense. Human deceit paving the way for alien terror.
And Anna's role in this, she's mostly silent but important.
Very subtle, but yeah. She's not a soldier. She's a civilian witness. To the team's brutal arrival, to the horror that follows, she brings this external, vulnerable perspective.
Someone outside that military dynamic.
Exactly. Experiencing the terror right alongside them. Her presence kind of underscores the indiscriminate nature of the real threat and reminds us the stakes are bigger than just soldiers. She becomes this key traumatized survivor.
Her vulnerability against their hardness, her silence against their, military talk, it adds that layer of human fragility.
It really does. Highlights the unexpected collateral damage of these ops and the alien threat that feeds on them.
So from that very human conflict at the camp, the film it snaps right back to the unknown threat, relentlessly. Even as they're processing Dylan's betrayal, that feeling returns, amplified.
You can feel it. The tension that maybe eased up slightly during the raid just floods back in, thicker than the jungle air.
And
Billy.
Billy feels it again.
Yeah. But this time it's more specific, more urgent. He actually says it. Something not human. The dread on his face.
Yeah.
It communicates everything, solidifies him as their early warning system, and just cranks up our anticipation.
And then it happens. The invisible hunter strikes.
Oh.
Fast, brutal.
Hawkins, the comms guy. He's the first to go in this new wave. Just dragged into the jungle, lightning speed. Gone before they even fully register it.
Classic horror move. The sudden disappearance tells you this thing isn't just fast, it's otherworldly fast.
And that's that genre blend right there. Hawkins is pure horror, vanished by an unseen force. But then, Blaine's death.
Oh man, Blaine.
Blaine gets hit by an energy blast, right in the chest, obliterated. And that's the first undeniable sci-fi element hitting them directly.
Yeah, concrete proof. This isn't a weird animal, not just invisible. It has advanced weapons? Devastating ones?
Completely elevates the threat. Confirms all those suspicions from the opening shot of the pod.
And Mac. His buddy Blaine goes down and Mac just snaps.
Yep.
Primal rage.
Totally loses it. Unloads his minigun into the jungle, just firing wildly, desperately trying to hit something, anything.
And in that chaos, they actually managed to do something pivotal.
Yeah, they wound it slightly. And it leaves behind that splash of bright glistening.
Glowing green blood.
Ah, the glowing green blood. So iconic. One of the great creature reveals in cinema, really.
It's more than just cool looking, right?
Oh, way more. It's the first solid, tangible proof of its alien nature. Confirms it's not human, not earthly, in one striking image. And crucially...
It can be hurt.
Exactly. It can be harmed. It's not invincible, just incredibly hard to fight. So that single detail ramps up the threat. It's alien.
Yeah.
But also gives them, and us, this tiny sliver of hope. A target. Even if it's mostly invisible.
It turns it from just a shadow into something real, something they could potentially fight. And it kind of introduces that sci-fi idea of, analyzing the enemy, even mid-terror.
Well put. That eerie phosphorescent green against the dark jungle just screams alien. And Mac's reaction, this elite commando just devolving into panicked rage. What's that tell us?
It just shows the psychological breakdown, doesn't it? Even for the best soldiers. When you face something incomprehensible, unstoppable.
Your training, your discipline, it just fails. Mac's rage isn't tactical, it's primal fear. Helplessness against an enemy that defies logic, defies everything he knows.
It shows the sheer terror the Predator inspires. Strips away that hardened composure.
Emphasizes that their military might is kind of useless here. Highlights the Predator's lethal efficiency and the team's just growing desperation.
Mhm.
They've entered a whole new ballgame where their rules just don't apply.
So after those first terrifying kills, the survivors,
Yeah.
what's left of them,
Hmm.
they start to piece it together. It's not just invisible anymore. They begin to understand its nature, its capabilities, its purpose.
Precisely. As more guys go down, their horrific experiences force them to accept they're being stalked by something with technology light years ahead of theirs. We, the audience, kind of knew from the start, but now they're feeling the effects.
The thermal vision.
Yeah, seeing heat signatures,
Yeah.
makes camouflage, even the dense jungle, totally useless. They see the cloaking tech.
That shimmering outline, ghostly.
Right, allowing it to stop them silently. And of course, the plasma weapon, that shoulder cannon, vaporizing targets, terrifying power.
And this is when it gets its name. The Predator and the description. Tall, reptilian, and armored. Sounds like a nightmare made real. Built for this environment.
Exactly. But the most crucial piece of the puzzle isn't the tech or the look. It's the motive.
It hunts for sport.
Chilling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not survival, not territory, not revenge, just the challenge, the thrill of the hunt, proving its prowess against worthy opponents.
That elevates it beyond just a monster. It's intelligent, tactical, with a code, a brutal one.
A very specific code. It chooses only the armed and dangerous as targets.
Yeah.
It's looking for the best trophies.
That is such a huge detail. It implies this weird kind of honor, or at least very specific rules for a worthy fun. It's not just killing everything. It ignores the unarmed.
Avoid civilians.
Right.
And that selectivity, that specific criterion, that becomes absolutely crucial for Dutch later on. It's what sets the Predator apart from your typical movie monster.
Yeah. That hunting for sport idea gives it depth. It thrives on testing itself against the best. And the thermal, the cloak, they aren't just cool gadgets. They're perfectly designed tools for this hunt in this environment.
Exactly. The thermal vision showing the jungle as this landscape of heat signatures. It wasn't just scary. It let us see through the Predator's eyes. Changed our perspective.
And the cloak, that shimmer effect, the low hum, constant unease, is it there? Isn't it?
Gives it this almost unfair advantage. Observe, stalk, strike without warning. Turns the whole jungle into its personal hunting ground.
So as a team slowly gets what they're facing, the power, the cunning, the purpose, they try to fight back, but it feels desperate, futile almost.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where you see conventional tactics just fail miserably against the unconventional. These are elite soldiers trained for anything human. They fall back on what they know.
They try to trap it.
Yeah, using nets, explosives, big crude traps, but things that should work against a person or even a big animal. They pour everything they have left into this desperate attempt.
And for one heart-stopping second, they actually catch it.
They do. You feel that surge of hope, that adrenaline rush. Maybe, just maybe.
But it doesn't last.
Nope. The creature just tears through the net. Incredible strength. Shrugs off the explosions, escapes easily. That brief capture, then the rapid escape. It just hammers home its power, its ingenuity.
Makes their best effort look kind of pathetic.
Totally demoralizing. Shows they're completely outmatched, their training, their weapons, inadequate.
Yeah.
Signifies their doom is probably sealed.
And the film is just relentless in showing the Predator's lethality, systematically taking them down, almost ritualistically. Just builds that tension, isolates Dutch more and more.
Each death serves a purpose, reinforces the Predator's effectiveness, its brutal efficiency. Mac, Dylan, Billy, Pancho, one by one in these intense, brutal fights.
Each death showcasing something different, right?
Yeah. Max is a close-quarters ambush, showing its stealth even up close. Dylan's feels almost like a ritual kill, acknowledging his part in the mess. Billy's, that heroic, spiritual last stand against pure speed and power.
And Pancho. The last buffer goes down, leaving Dutch basically alone.
Right. This methodical elimination isolates Dutch, strips away his support, heightens the tension for that final, inevitable one-on-one. No backup left.
It's like watching this brutal countdown. Each death just raises the stakes, makes you wonder how anyone could survive this thing.
Exactly. It removes all the conventional supports, firepower, team, tactics, forcing Dutch to ditch everything he knows and rely on something more fundamental, primal. It pares the story down to its core, sets up that transformative climax.
Which leads us right into that ultimate showdown. Dutch, totally alone, broken down, but then he transforms. This is where the movie gives you that real aha moment, that insight into human adaptability.
This is the absolute core of it, isn't it? The pivotal moment. Everyone else is gone or incapacitated. Dutch is isolated, stripped of his tech, his team, his training. That extreme pressure forces him to completely rethink survival. Ditch everything.
And in that desperation, that primal fear, he finds the key, almost by accident. He realizes coating himself in mud,
hides his body heat from the thermal vision.
So simple, but utterly brilliant, born not from tactics, but from raw animal cunning.
And the mud camouflage is so significant, it's not a tech counter. It's natural, instinctive, primitive. It hammers home that theme, hyper-advanced tech versus basic human ingenuity.
Man versus nature, almost, but nature used as a weapon against tech.
Exactly. He literally sheds his identity as a modern soldier, connects with a very environment that was hostile, and uses it as a shield, turns the predator's own strength against it.
And you see him transforming, covered in mud, crafting primitive weapons, a spear, a bow setting traps using vines, logs.
Such a stark contrast to the M16s and grenade launchers earlier. It's a full reversion.
And that's when the psychological shift is complete. He goes from hunted to hunter.
Irreversibly.
Yeah.
He abandons the soldier identity, taps into this older, fundamental survival instinct. That adaptability is what separates him. He gets that the rules have changed, so he has to change himself, his very essence.
It drives home that idea. In extreme situations, sometimes the most basic instincts, thinking outside the box. That's what saves you, brains over brawn, ultimately.
The ultimate expression of it.
Yeah.
And with that transformation done, the stage is set. The final battle. Raw strength versus cunning wit.
Okay, so Dutch, reborn primal hunter, finally faces the predator, this climactic battle. He uses the environment, his traps, manages to wound the creature, and then forces it to do something huge.
Remove its helmet.
Yeah.
Which is such a symbolic, significant moment. It's the predator accepting the challenge, right?
Yeah.
Shedding its tech advantage willingly for a direct personal fight.
Like a moment of respect, almost.
Yeah.
Acknowledging Dutch is worthy.
Exactly that. Chilling respect from the alien hunter. It elevates the fight from a hunt to a true duel, a test of raw will, raw capability. It's the predator's code in action, demanding a worthy challenge and acknowledging it found one.
And when that helmet comes off, we finally see it, the face. Monstrous, mandible-lined.
Iconic reveal. Cements its terrifying alien nature, that image. The mandibles, the eyes. Legendary creature design.
Totally. Practical effects, masterpiece. Unsettling but weirdly compelling. A nightmare brought to life.
And in the hand-to-hand combat that follows, it's immediately clear. Physically, Dutch is totally outmatched.
Oh, yeah. The predator is bigger, stronger, faster. No human stands a chance physically.
But despite that physical disadvantage, Dutch, through sheer will, ingenuity, he outwits the creature.
He doesn't overpower it. He outthinks it.
That's the payoff for his transformation. Proving human ingenuity can win. He uses the traps, the jungle knowledge, even his understanding of the predator's honor code, its desire for a challenge against it.
Anticipates its moves, uses the terrain.
And then the final trap. That massive log counterweight crushes it. A feat of strength, yeah, but mostly incredible foresight and planning.
Primal cunning wins over advanced tech and brute force. That brains over brawn theme nailed. Intelligence and adaptability overcoming the odds.
Perfectly done. But the battle's won. The story isn't quite over. The predator has one last chilling move.
Right. It's crushed, defeated. The jungle goes quiet for a second, but even dying, it triggers that self-destruct device on its wrist.
The countdown starts. Those glowing digits blinking down, and that sound.
That maniacal laughter, haunting, echoing through the trees.
That final act is so revealing, isn't it? Deliberate self-destruction, not surrender. Speaks volumes about its code, its pride. Even defeated, it refuses capture, refuses to be studied.
Maintains its twisted dignity to the end, ensures nobody learns from its tech or its failure.
And that laughter. It's so unsettling. Is it pride in finding a worthy foe? A final taunt? Satisfaction in erasing itself?
It's ambiguous, which makes it creepier, adds this weird psychological layer to its death.
Totally. And then this Dutch is just sprinting, desperately trying to get away. The whole place just erupts.
Massive fireball, devastating explosion, consumes everything.
It's not just a dramatic exit. It's erasing the evidence, obliterating its tech, its defeat, leaving only scorched earth and mystery.
The sheer power of that blast is insane, wipes the slate clean, ensures the encounter remains almost mythical.
Key part of its lasting impact. No tech to reverse engineer, no body to dissect, keeps the predator enigmatic, terrifying, leaves you pondering its power, its code.
And then the aftermath, smoke clearing, echoes fading. Just the survivor, Dutch, covered in ash and exhausted, physically, emotionally drained, found by the rescue chopper.
Anna's there too, safe, another testament to endurance. But Dutch's ending, it's powerful because it's silent.
Right. He says nothing. His expression says it all. His eyes just hollowed out. conveying something words can't capture.
The experience is too alien, too profound for language,
Hmm.
underscores the incomprehensibility of it all, the trauma. He's survived something beyond human understanding.
And the contrast is so stark, the conventional rescue team arrives.
Completely oblivious, looking for survivors of maybe gorillas, maybe a crash,
Hmm.
not an extraterrestrial death hunt.
They represent the return to normal, but a normal that has no frame of reference for what Dutch went through.
Exactly. That gap in understanding leaves you, the listener, with this lingering sense of awe, unease,
Yeah.
a question. Suggests some battles just transcend our ability to explain them, reinforces that theme of a primal clash beyond modern grasp, a silent, haunting echo.
So, looking back at Predator as a whole, everything we've unpacked, what really makes it so unique, so enduring, so iconic?
I think fundamentally it's that masterful blend of genres. It starts as this high-octane action flick,
Yeah, guns blazing.
and then bam, pivots into terrifying survival horror with the skin bodies, and then fully embraces the sci-fi with the Predator reveal, the tech.
That mix isn't just a gimmick, though.
Not at all. It's what makes it potent. The suspense isn't cheap scares. It's atmosphere, that claustrophobic jungle combined with groundbreaking practical effects that made the unseen felt.
Bringing that hunter to life.
Yeah, that unique synergy creates this unforgettable experience, takes you from a simple mission to this raw, primal fight with the unknown, constantly giving you those aha moments, those surprising insights about human resilience when everything else fails.
What a ride, a wild, visceral, and yeah, surprisingly thoughtful journey we just took. From Dutch's manipulated mission to that ultimate primal battle. Predator really is a testament to powerful genre blending. Action, horror, sci-fi, creating something timeless.
And beyond the thrills and scares, it really highlights Dutch's adaptability, right? His transformation,
Mhm.
and that enduring lesson, sometimes, against overwhelming odds, it's brains over brawn. It's returning to basic primal instincts that ensure survival, a testament to human ingenuity.
So, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it raises this important question, doesn't it? Echoes way beyond the movie's jungle. In our world, so reliant on tech, on complex systems, what unexpected primal instincts might we still need for true survival when facing something totally outside our understanding or just when our tech fails us?
It's a fascinating thought, almost unsettling. How often do we just lean on the familiar, our training, our tools, only to find the rules completely rewritten by something unexpected? Predator forces you to think about what happens when everything you know is useless, when you're pushed back to your most fundamental self. Reminds you of that deep, maybe forgotten wellspring of human instinct. Maybe true adaptability isn't always about more tech. Maybe it's about deeper self-discovery.
And that is all for this deep dive into Predator 1987. Thank you so much for diving deep with us today, exploring the terrifying, yeah, but insightful layers of this absolute masterpiece.
Hope you gained some surprising new perspectives, maybe a deeper appreciation for this classic.
Until next time, keep digging, keep questioning, and keep exploring all the fascinating knowledge hidden out there in plain sight.